Hi, this is Dr. Scott Hoar, and today is Treatment Tuesday. And you know what? I've been treating people with these videos for a number of months now, and I think it's time for me to get a treatment. So this week we've had Dr. Major Talent come in, and he's going to do a little bit of treatment on me. We're going to go over my x-rays, and he's going to give a great treatment because you know what? Chiropractors need treatment as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this week's episode and seeing me get some treatment.
You ready?
I think so.
Let's go.
All right.
So we're looking at your neck here. So when you look straight on the spine, everything should be straight. Mm-hmm. And you can see that your head is actually tilted to the right. Mm-hmm. So as we look at the side view, you should have a curve in your neck. And you've got a pretty good curve here. It needs to be a little bit more, but all in all, it's a pretty good curve. So what the curve does, it supports the weight of the head. The average head weighs about the weight of a bowling ball. So if you've got a curve, it disperses the weight equally throughout the curve. If you don't have the curve and your neck is straight or a military neck, the weight goes straight down and it tends to wear the disc and the joints out.
Right.
And it makes the muscles in the back of the neck work harder to hold the head up. So by the end of the day, your head feels real heavy on your shoulders.
So that curve, it displaces the force it's almost like a bridge, right?
Exactly. When you see these big construction bridges, most bridges have an arch in them. Mm-hmm. And that's to disperse the weight equally.
Got it. I'm not going to lie to you, I'm pretty happy with that x-ray. A couple of years back, my neck curve wasn't so great. I wasn't getting treated a lot. And I started having some neck discomfort, but I mean, it might be a little bit of facet hypertrophy there, but it's nothing crazy, right?
No. All in all, the side view looks pretty good.
All right.
Let's move down to the thoracic spine.
What about the AP open mouth? I didn't really look at that. Oh man.
Okay.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
Little bit of a wedge here at C2,
and
a little bit of rotation. But we saw the rotation throughout here, so that doesn't surprise me that it's rotated. Mm-hmm. Thoracic spine. Once again, we have where it angles off, starting about mid-back area. You've got a little wedge right in here between the shoulder blades.
I do get a little bit of mid-back stiffness throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. And that affects all the muscles around the scapula. And that's probably set that off a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, lumbar spine, looking straight on. All in all, it's pretty straight here. But here's your big issue. You've got a retrolisthesis here. So, your lumbar spine curves, everything comes in line till we get to right here. Here's L4, L3. They all seem to line up good till you get to L5, and it has gone posterior.
Right.
Injury to that?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say any trauma in particular, but yeah, I've had my share of back issues in my day. I've definitely had bouts of back pain. I mean, that's what led me to chiropractic in the first place, and then the relief of symptoms led me to want to be a chiropractor. And then a couple of years down the road, after I started practicing, I definitely had some multi-level disc issues.
Well, you can see you've got good disc spacing throughout here. Mm-hmm. And then when you get to L4 and 5, you can see how thin that disc is.
Yeah.
So it's really starting to degenerate right in the posterior aspect. Mm-hmm. And with this going posterior, it's really going to wreak havoc on those facets as far as extension positions. What we'll do is do some adjustments on it, mm-hmm. get those joints more mobile, get them moving better, and get you on an exercise program to strengthen the lumbar spine muscles.
Right. Really, I mean, the last set of x-rays I had was probably about maybe a year and a half ago. From memory, and of course memory is skewed, I don't see any progression of degenerative changes, so really, I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing.
So it's maintaining pretty good.
It's maintaining pretty good, and really, I think there might be a little bit more space, especially in that L4, L5, and then that L5, S1 discs, because those were really getting crunched. I was doing a lot of CrossFit, and I was squatting too deep, under load, and doing certain hip thrust exercises that I think did not help the spinal stability. I think that really led to a bigger spondylo retrolesthesis, like you're pointing out right there. So I put an end to that. But so I'm feeling pretty good. All right.
Okay, are you comfortable?
I think so.
Okay, so what we're going to do is focus on this left hip area because of the rotation that we had on the x-ray.
Okay.
So I'm going to check a few things out here. So I want you to keep this leg straight and lift it. Good. This side. Good. Okay, so what we're doing there is testing these muscles. So when you raise this leg, the muscle structures, your hamstrings should fire, your glutes should fire, and then the extensor muscles should fire. Mm-hmm. And that's the order they should fire, and they all worked great on that.
So you were watching which muscle fires and then the order in which they were firing?
So I have my hands here and here.
Oh, you could feel it.
So you can, when you lift that leg, so when you lifted, I could feel this muscle fire before I felt these fire.
Got it.
So it should fire here, through here, and then the opposite erector muscle should fire.
Okay.
And what you find in a lot of people is the extensor muscles fire first before these muscles fire.
Right.
And those people typically have a lot of low back fatigue when they're in a job or where they're walking a lot or standing a lot throughout the day because these muscles are not engaging. These are doing all the work, so they have a lot of back pain.
Right. Okay.
So we're going to work on that area, and then we're going to work right in here where we had that wedge. So I'm not going to make it turn around up and down all the time, so take a deep breath all the way out. Okay, lay on your side facing me. On your back. Okay. This area right in here, around T5 where you have that wedge.
That always feels stiff.
Do you have any digestion problems? Bloating?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
My wife might disagree. Oh! My goodness.
Now we're going to move up to the neck.
All right. Always feels good being on the other side of it.
We've got some rotation. Any tenderness here?
It's a little tender. Yeah, that like C3, C4 area. It's a trouble spot. I was happy that there weren't degenerative changes on the x-ray because I thought there might have been.
And the neck looked pretty clean.
Yeah.
That low back though, that's your Achilles heel.
Right.
Let's get this one right here.
Oh yeah. That's a good adjustment, Doc.
How'd that feel?
That felt amazing. Okay, so you got my neck moving because you felt some restriction in there. My mid-back, you could tell there was some deviation and wedging. And like I was saying, I've got some stiffness that comes about, especially during long days or if I'm on my feet for a long time. I can tell the mid-back doesn't always feel great. The lower back, those problems have been documented, and he was able to get some movement in there. My back, given its history, doesn't have lots of pops or cracks or big loud releases like my neck or my mid-back did, but it's still improving the alignment of those areas to make sure whatever degenerative changes or arthritis or the spondylolisthesis that he was talking about doesn't get in worse alignment and it doesn't have worse degenerative changes. So Doc, how did that treatment go as far as how treatments typically go with people?
That was a good treatment. Everything moves significantly easy, which you've been under a lot of care in the past. So that's what I expected.
Yeah.
And that's a typical treatment for most patients.
Yeah. All right, good. Well, at this point, I think it would be most appropriate for me to do a couple of exercises to kind of reinforce the stability that we're looking to accomplish in the lower back and pelvis and maintain the thoracic spine and neck movement that we saw on x-ray and exam. So, Doc, thanks for the treatment.
All right.
Appreciate it.